Hola! Welcome to another Spanish lesson with Senor Geis. In this video, you're going to be learning about reflexive verbs, both what reflexive verbs are in the first place and then also how to conjugate them in the present tense. So, the definition of a reflexive verb is a verb whose subject is the same as its object. If you remember from English class, maybe you might have learned this. A subject is the thing that is doing an action. And then the object is the thing that the action is being done to. So a simpler way of saying this might be that a reflexive verb is an action that someone is doing to themselves. Or you could also say an action that something is doing to itself. So just to illustrate this, in this example sentence, he washes the car. He is the subject of the sentence, and the car is the object. He is not the car. So in this example, the sentence is not reflexive because the person is not doing it to themselves. In this example, though, he washes his hands. He is doing this action to himself. He's washing his own hands. He's doing something to his own body. So he is the same as the object. He's the subject and the object. Here's another example. She brushes his teeth. This is not a reflexive sentence because she is the subject of the action and his teeth are the object of the action. And she is not his teeth. So the subject and object are different, and so this is not reflexive. But if she brushes her own teeth, she brushes her teeth, she's the one doing the action and she's doing it to herself, to her own teeth. So this is a reflexive sentence. So when you have reflexive verbs, this is what will look like. It's always going to end in the letters se or se. So what this actually is you've got two parts. First, you have the reflexive pronoun, which is the se part at the end, and then you also have the verb. So the verb is just like any other verb you've seen up till now in Spanish. Without the reflexive pronoun, lavar just means to wash, but you're not washing yourself. You're washing something else. So you can conjugate this verb just like anything else. So lavo means I wash, lavas means you wash, lava means he or she washes, lavamos means we wash, lavais means you all wash, and lavan means they wash. But if we want to conjugate lavarse, we need to focus on the reflexive pronoun, se. Okay, so before we want to conjugate, we need to know who we're conjugating for. So in this example, we're going to conjugate for yo lavarse. So the first thing you're going to do is you need to take off that se off the end of the reflexive verb. So we've just got yo lavar. But we're not just going to forget that se, we need to put it somewhere. So we're going to put it in front of the verb. So in front of the word lavar. But we're not just going to put it as se. There are actually 6 different versions of the reflexive pronoun. So me, te, se, nos, os, se. And this all depends on the grammatical person you're talking about. It's just like all the conjugation you've learned up till now. So we need to pick which reflexive pronoun goes with yo. So yo is first person and singular, so it goes with me. So we know me is the reflexive pronoun we need, so we will put it right where the se was and say me, yo me. But we're not done yet because we need to conjugate lavar still. You can't leave lavar unconjugated. And if we're conjugating for yo, we're going to say lavo. So we have now successfully finished conjugating this reflexive verb. Yo me lavo means I wash myself, or I wash. Here is another example. Mirarse means to look at yourself. Okay, so we're going to conjugate this for nosotros. First step, we're going to take off the se, and we're going to stick it in front of the verb, but after the word nosotros. Now, we're not done yet. We need to pick the right form of the reflexive pronoun, which in this case, since we're conjugating for nosotros, it is nos. So we're going to stick nos in before the verb, and we're going to say nosotros, nos. And then we're not done yet. We need to conjugate the verb mirar. So we're going to say nosotros nos miramos. And we're done. Nosotros nos miramos. We look at ourselves. And one final example. Acostarse means to lie down or lie yourself down. So, first of all, we're going to conjugate this for ellos. Ellos. So, first of all, we're going to take off the se, and we're going to stick it in front of the verb. And we need to pick which form of it we're going to use. So, since we're conjugating for ellos, we're going to pick se, and we're going to stick it in right where the se was. You might have noticed that the third person, both singular and plural, reflexive pronoun is se. And you're totally correct when you say that when we look at the infinitive, it's just we use se by default. But there's no real reason we use se over any other form. So we've got se in there. Now we need to conjugate acostar. But there's a little bit of a trick here because acostar is a stem-changing verb, okay? So that is also called a boot verb. Acostar, since it's got an O in it, the O is going to change to a UE in the boot formation. So when we conjugate it for ellos, we're going to use acuestan. So we're going to change acostar to acuestan, and now we are done. Ellos se acuestan is the correct conjugation of acostarse for ellos. They lie down. They lie themselves down. So in summary, reflexive verbs are verbs that mean someone or something is doing something to themselves, and they're composed of two parts, the verb that you need to conjugate and the reflexive pronoun, which is at the end. When you conjugate it, though, you're going to put the reflexive pronoun in front of the verb and change it to the correct form, me, te, se, nos, os, or se, depending on who you're conjugating the verb for.